that are included in that. So anabolism is really just a function of your body taking, simple materials and combining them and creating new tissue, new muscle mass, new bone mass, anything that's growth, really, anything that's constructing. So obviously that's why you hear about that's why you hear the word anabolic so much, is because you want to keep your body in an anabolic state, which is, that's, unless you're on the juice 24/7, that's not going to happen. You can still build plenty of muscle. You're going to be catabolic at some times, and generally, the catabolism scare, or the way that people relay it to a lot of the marketing out there on catabolism and going catabolic is overstated. It's going to happen, but generally it's overstated as far as the amount of meals and the amount of food that they suggest that you take, and it's really just a mark to push supplements and to sell more supplements. But really, anyway, like I said, it's overstated. So anabolism, like I said, is the construction of new, that's really how you should look at it. Just anabolism is the construction of new tissue, lean body mass. That's building muscle. So catabolism, on the flip side, catabolism is what gives out energy. That's what breaks, it's the opposite. So it's going to break down tissue into simple, smaller things, and it's going to release that energy and your body can use it. So say, for instance, your body may break down muscle tissue, which is obviously that's unwanted effect, but let's say your body would break down muscle tissue, it would convert those amino acids into glucose, and then it can be used by your body as energy. So that happens when that only happens when a certain amount of factors come together. And I'll kind of go over these different hormones that affect that and can cause you to go catabolic. And there's a few different hormones. I'll just go over two of them. Cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and a lot of times you hear, and I've talked about it before, you don't want to work out too hard, like when you're overtraining, or if your workout sessions run too long. Eventually there comes a point of diminishing returns where your body is not going to respond positively. It's going to start releasing cortisol, and you're actually doing yourself a negative by training that certain way or overtraining your body. So that's why rest is important, and that's why it's important to keep stress. And stress is cumulative, so stress from any part of or any area of your life will really apply to your muscle building, because it's all cumulative. And if the more stress you have, the more cortisol is going to be pumping through your system. And if you got a bunch of cortisol pumping through your system, it's going to be a lot more difficult to be in an anabolic state. So just keep that in mind. It's a stress hormone. It comes from the adrenal glands, and it increases blood sugar. Not blood sugar, blood pressure. And you can even get sick that way. It lowers your immune system response. So there's a lot of different negatives to it, but basically the general sense is, try not to be so stressed out. Whatever the stress level or stress source is, try to alleviate that. Obviously that's way easier said than done, but it is something to note that is something that really affects your ability to build muscle. So the other hormone is adrenaline. And obviously most people know what this is. It's also known as epinephrine, the synthetic version. But yeah, this pretty much causes your heartbeat to accelerate. I'm sure everyone's experienced this, an adrenaline rush. This is something it comes from the fight or flight response in your body. And obviously that's something that's going to be released into the body. It's going to cause your body to break down tissue for immediate, quick, fast energy. And your body's just ready to fight or flight. But that's just a simple explanation on that. I just kind of wanted to give you a few different hormones that you don't want pumping through your body very often if you're trying to stay anabolic. So keep in mind that the two different phases are anabolism of metabolism are anabolism and catabolism. So